Hello everyone, DG90's here. Before I begin this video, you might be wondering, what's with me being placed in the middle of a randomized MLP background instead of the black background you were in your previous videos? Well, I actually wanted to try something different for this video. Instead of placing pictures and videos on a different frame, except for some videos I'll be placing in this video, they'll be placed in the same frame as I am. How I found this out is because my video program, Wondershare Filmora, actually has a PIP picture-in-picture mode. With this feature, I can place my Panasonic in here, although I really don't know much about this feature yet. If you like the style I use by the end of this video, I might use this a bit more often, but until then, this will be the only video that I will be using this style. So, enjoy the video. Sly Cooper, one of the best platformers in the PS2 era, and one of the best mascots for the PlayStation. At least to me. Anyways, this year is Sly Cooper's 15th anniversary, and just like my Godzilla retrospective, I'm going to be talking about my personal thoughts and experiences with all of the games, and that one movie that isn't out yet. Like Godzilla, I can't remember what year exactly I was into Sly Cooper, but the first Sly game I ever played was the third game on the PlayStation 2. So yeah, I haven't started out in chronological order. With all of the Sly Cooper games, this is my most favorite of the franchise. The story with how Sly Cooper got new members of his gang to help him to infiltrate to the Cooper Vault on Cane Island, I thought that it was pretty good. I liked how this game also reintroduced the story with how Sly's family met their demise, and the way how he met Murray and Bentley at the orphanage. I really liked how all of the episodes are set up, and how the main villain is set up for that one episode. My most favorite episode levels are An Opera of Fear, Occult Alliance, and Honor Among Thieves. I really don't hate all of the episodes in Sly 3, in fact all of them are very good. Those ones I mentioned were just my most favorite out of the bunch. With the characters in this game, I really love Sly Cooper, Murray, Bentley, and Carmelita. With Sly Cooper, it was fun to try to sneak up behind enemies and take them out from behind. I did like Sly Cooper's power-ups like the Smoke Bomb, Pharaoh Pounce, Thief Reflexes, Paraglider, and those disguises that you have for 3 of those episodes in Opera of Fear, Occult Alliance, and Dead Men Tell No Tales. This is the only game that the cane has a push attack and a jump attack. It can go up to 3 levels. I do like you can combat enemies with your cane. The enemies that are sort of a pain in the ass to eliminate are those flashlight guards. If you were caught and want to combat them, they will take multiple hits to be eliminated. I know this is the same with the rooftop guards, but you can at least take these guys off buildings, cliffs, and etc. Once they fall off from a building or a cliff or something else from a certain height, they look down, gulp, and fell down to the depths, but whenever you do eliminate an enemy, they disappear in a puff of blue smoke. The flashlight guards won't get knocked over from your king if you're not behind them, or you whack them enough times to move. When they're about a certain height, they move their body parts like they're falling off the sky, but they do disappear in a puff of blue smoke. About the part with getting behind the flashlight guard when they don't notice you, you can whack them in the air and slam them on the ground. It causes noise, but however, it's a cool way to eliminate the flashlight guards. And there's this other power-up where you can create a small tornado to create a small black hole to force the enemies to look like they're about to fall from a great height called Silent Liberation. For Bentley, his wheelchair spin attack is alright, but I prefer his ability to drop a bomb from an arm of his wheelchair and some of his power-ups like the one with the magnet fishing pole, which you can use to pull the coins off the guard's pockets, and the one power where you can build to throw a bomb further than when he dropped one on the ground. But although this one you have to press the same button that you activate the power-up in order to donate the bomb, it can eliminate any guard when it gets near to it, even the flashlight guards. The hover pack power-up where Bentley can jump 4 more times in the air than when he can double jump. And my most favorite out of the bunch, the grapple cam. I love this power-up from Bentley because I love when you can distract a group of guards to wherever you decide to place the cam at. The grapple cam can move anywhere by using its grappling hook. Later on, it gets a turret upgrade so you can shoot an infinite stream of bullets from the turret. I've loved whenever I play this game, I use it to distract guards so they can get back to their original objectives. And most of the time, I loved when Carmelita heard Bentley's voice and comes to investigate, but found a bunch of guards are in the same area as her, and she actually eliminates them. That part just never gets old for me. I almost forgot to mention that if you're using Bentley's Binocucom, it has a sleep dart targeting add-on where you can have the guards put to sleep. For Murray, I do like how you can pick up the guards and throw them. The rooftop guards are easy to eliminate with Murray, and no matter if the rooftop guards notice you or not, you can pick them up and throw them. The flashlight guards can only be picked up if they don't notice you or they're on the ground uncautious for a few seconds. You can also pick up certain objects and throw them at the guards. It is useful towards flashlight guards because they can be knocked uncautious again, and you have the chance to pick them up if you already got caught by one or more flashlight guards. The way Murray collects coins is unique from the way Sly and Bentley collect coins. The way to collect the guards' coins is by picking them up and actually shaking them. For Murray's power-ups, to be honest, all of his power-ups aren't that spectacular to me. But if I can pick two that I do like, it would be his guttural roar, because I do like how with this power-up, Murray can do a roar that's so loud that all guards, especially Carmelita, can run away for a few seconds till they forget what the hell just happened. And Berserker charges where Murray charged like a bull for a few seconds. This is the second helpful tactic towards flashlight guards. For Carmelita, she can use her shock pistol, and this one kick move is her only means of attacks. She can mega jump, which can be helpful if you want to get on higher parts of a building or something. She doesn't have power-ups unfortunately, but only for the single player. She does have a few in the two-player mode. Heat Seeker, Hypnotize, Mega Jump, which I know I said in this earlier, but it has a different animation, unlike in single player, and Teleport. The other characters, unfortunately, they're only playable when you do a specific job/mission. The gurus are right, but I do like how you can get on enemies and use them to your advantage, but they can't stop moving once you're on them. You can, however, jump off the guards or make them ram into a wall. You can transform into random objects, but they do change depending on the episode you're in. The Panda King can only do a flame food shop and his fireworks as the main of attacks. Penelope can only use her gadgets, and the only time you can play as her in her physical form is battling with Lufui. And Dimitri can only do underwater levels, and his only means of an attack is firing his pistol that launches a sphere rocket. By the way, I never seen the commercials to this game as a kid, but when I saw it years later on YouTube, it is just as weird as the Godzilla Unleashed commercial. In fact, here it is.
What's your role? Slide 3. Rated everyone 10 and older. What's your role? Slide 3. Rated everyone 10 and older. What's your role? Slide 3. Rated everyone 10 and older.
As for the jobs in Slide 3, here are my favorites from each episode of the game. Episode 1, An Opera of Fear. Canal Chase. This is where Sly Cooper and Bentley had to take out the Blue Viper gang, whom are disposing Carmelita, who was doing her daily patrol. Police HQ. This is where Sly infiltrates the Firenze police headquarters because they thought Murray was inside the HQ, but instead it's someone else. Turf War. This is where Carmelita and her police squad take out the flashlight guards riding on their own helicopters because of how Octavio hired the Firenze gang for protection. Guard duty. This is where Sly Cooper uses his Firenze disguise to fool the flashlight guards, and Bentley gets inside to retrieve the blueprints in each 3 buildings. And Operation Tar Be Gone. This is the operation where firstly, Sly Cooper infiltrates the main operation building Octavio and destroys the tar pumps. Second is with Bentley facing against Octavio for a recital. Thirdly, Sly and Bentley shooting down Octavio's boat. And lastly, Murray having a one-on-one fistfight while Sly uses the tar pumps to slow down Octavio. Episode 2, Rumble Down Under. Unleash the Guru. This is the job where, after obtaining the Moonstone and the stick, the Guru frees himself out of prison after riding on one of the guards, and uses his ability to destroy 4 drills and a grinder. Hungry Croc. This is where Murray throws guards to this giant crocodile so it can thin the ranks of the miners. Lemon Rage. This is where Sly, Murray, and Bentley enter a bar to wipe the miners from there. First, they had a lemonade drinking competition with 3 dingo rooftop guards, and after that, having a brawl with the rooftop guards. Lastly, defeating a rooftop guard that's possessed by the Mask of Dark Earth. And Operation Mooncrash. This is where the Cooper gang destroys the gyrocopter and destroys the Mask of Dark Earth that possessed Carmelita. And after launching a bunch of sleep darts, Carmelita grew in tremendous size. Episode 3, Flight of Fancy. Windmill Firewall. This is where Bentley hacks into the terminals that control the windmills. After hacking the 3rd computer, he found out a bug that caused one of the windmills to go flinging like a ninja star. Beauty and the Beast. This is where Sly Cooper and Bentley come up with an idea to eliminate Mugshot by luring Carmelita near Town Square. Once Sly does get Carmelita's attention and lure her towards the Town Square, her and Mugshot have a one-on-one duel, except with Mugshot having help with the rooftop guard. And Operation Turbo Dominant Eagle. This is where Sly Cooper has his Aces finals against the Black Baron. It starts with Sly Cooper catapulting himself to all the blimps to place tracking devices on them. The second objective is with Murray pulling all the 3 support beams from Baron's array, then Sly going against the Black Baron 2 times, one on the biplanes and one on a commercial airplane. Episode 4, Occult Alliance. King of Fire. This is where the Cooper gang does each specific objective to get to where the Panda King is positioned at. Laptop Retrieval. This is where General Sal had found out about the Cooper gang's hideout, and he stole the ThiefNet laptop, and they need to retrieve it from him. Get a job. Literally, it's actually called that. This is where Sly Cooper disguised himself as a wedding photographer for the wedding of Sal and Gene King. A Battery of Perel. This is where Sly Cooper runs away from Carmelita, but he intentionally lets Carmelita shoot him because the battery on his back needs to be charged for the fan to run again. Grapple Cam Break-In. This is where Bentley breaks into Sal's business center. He firstly uses the grapple cam to get the guard to land on the pressure plates in order to shut down the laser grid. Then he hacks into the business center's mainframe in order to get the purchase records of the wedding. Vampiric Demise. This is where the Panda King has to blow up mantis zombies while Sly Cooper cracks the code to open each safe of fireworks. And Operation Wedding Crasher. This is where the Cooper gang saves Gene King from Sal before the wedding starts. Sly opens one door for Murray and Penelope so she can use her RC card to get into the center of the room to destroy the computer. There will be a second computer that will reboot the system, so you have to demolish the blue notes. Sly then paraglides to Sal's palace to keep the faces from breaking apart while Guru and the Panda King dig a tunnel underground to get Gene King out of the palace. Next, Bentley uses the grapple cam to lure Carmelita to the palace where Sly's calling card was at. She was expecting Cooper to be in the palace. General Sal summons a stone dragon for thinking Sly destroyed his family's treasure and kidnaps Penelope. Sly uses the firework rockets to get up to where the dragon is to defeat it. The other Cooper gang members, including Gene King, are in the van. Episode 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. The Dynamic Duo. This is where Penelope and Bentley work together to retrieve information about Captain Luffy's secret treasure map is, but one of the guards blew the hover spectrometer into 7 pieces, and they used the RC card to retrieve those pieces. When Penelope received the treasure map from Luffy's Skull Keep, the traps spewed flashbang powder to blind Penelope, so Bentley used his grapple can to bring her back to the safe house while shooting guards that might come near to her. In Operation Reverse Double Cross, this is where the Cooper gang came back from the missions out in the sea and saved Penelope from Luffy. First, the gang approaches Luffy's ship without blowing it up because they assume Penelope is on the ship. Sly tries to anger Luffy so he would reveal Penelope's location. He headed to Skull Keep but found it was an ambush with a fake explosive doll of Penelope. The Cooper gang thought Sly didn't survive the explosion. The gang tried to escape towards the deeper waters but Luffy caught them. However, the waters were deep enough for Crusher the Kraken to enter the scene being possessed by the Guru, and Crusher kills off the guards attacking Bentley who's protecting Penelope. When Penelope was rescued, Sly arrived and tried to attack Luffy, but he managed to counterattack by hitting Sly who was kicked overboard and Bentley who fell off his wheelchair. Penelope challenges Luffy into a sword fight. Episode 6, Honor Among Thieves. Carmelita to the rescue. This is where Carmelita tries to save Sly from Dr. M's abomination creation. A deadly bite. This is where the Guru possesses groups of sharks to dismantle the electromagnetic barrier to get Sly Cooper's gang off of it. Bump, charge, jump. This is where Penelope uses her RC card to eliminate the radar towers so it would prevent the missiles to heatseek on Sly's biplane. Danger in the skies. Sly uses his biplane to blow up the defense system so he and the gang can infiltrate into the Cooper Vault, but he also faces against Dr. M's flying whale contraption. The Ancestor's Gauntlet. This is where Sly enters deeper into the vault and explore all of his ancestors, including his father. Stand your ground. While Sly journeys further into the cave, Bentley and Murray defend the entrance of the Cooper Vault. And Final Legacy. This is where both Sly Cooper and Carmelita fought out Dr. M. All the other jobs I didn't list for this game aren't my faves, but I do see why they were implemented. What's cool that you can actually replay any of the jobs you played before in your playthrough by going to the Jobs and Challenges section of each episode. Overall, Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves is my most favorite of all the Sly Cooper games, and I am actually looking forward to play this game again anytime in the future. Some years later, I have played Sly 2 Band of Thieves, and for a prequel to Sly 3, it's good. I do like how it starts with Sly, Bentley, and Murray infiltrating a museum to grab the Clockwork parts and destroy them. That way Clockwork would truly be gone, but unfortunately, all the parts were stolen by this gang called the Claw Gang. Sly Cooper and his gang escaped and tried to find the Clockwork parts. When I was a kid, I played the game until I got to the job where you had to take photos inside John Bison's cabin in episode 6. But sometime later, I have beaten all the episodes in the game. For one, instead of all the 3 characters that can pickpocket, Sly Cooper is the only one that can pickpocket. I also forgot to mention in Sly 3 that some enemies have special items inside of their pockets, and if you obtain one of them, you'll get an extra amount of coins automatically. In Sly 2, you can do that, but however, you can only get the extra coins if you go to the ThiefNet computer. The power-ups in this game are cool. For Sly Cooper, the power-ups I like from him are Thief Reflexes, Voltage Attack, Feral Pounce, Silent Liberation, and a few power-ups that you can get by doing cheat codes. Mega Jump, which is Carmelita's ability in Sly 3, and Freaking Tom. Literally, Tom from Toonami appears in this game. I don't even know how they even got the rights to use him as a power-up, but I think it's still cool. For Bentley, the power-ups I like from him are Trigger Bomb, Adrenaline Burst, Snooze Bomb, and Hover Pack. For Murray, I do like 3 of his power-ups, Turnbuckle Launch, Atlas Strength, and Guttural Roar. Something I did notice about Bentley is that unlike in Sly 3, in this installment, he's on his 2 legs. I first wondered why he's like that in this game if he's in the wheelchair in Sly 3. Back then, I just accepted it how Bentley was just on his wheelchair, since back then I didn't think of any theories or whatever. But I did find out in Sly 2 that it had an explanation why Bentley was in the wheelchair in the next game. Anyways, my favorite episodes in this game are actually all of them, episodes 1 through 8. I do like all the bosses in those levels. Dimitri, who later became an ally to the Cooper gang, Rajan, the Contessa, John Bison, and Claw. Arpeggio, the leader of the Claw gang, never gets to be a boss since Neela, the Bengal tiger who was part of the Interpol in the Cooper gang, later revealed to work for Arpeggio, killed him when she entered Clockwork's body. Clockla is a challenging boss during the first part of the boss fight because you'll have to shoot her down while dealing with the projectiles Clockla will throw at you and the overheat meter. About the other bosses, despite liking them, they're either a little challenging to they're kind of easy to beat. Also, I feel like showing you the commercials to this game because they're really interesting to say the least.
So Bentley, what's the job?
Well, Clockwork's parts have been stolen, and we are the prime suspects on Inspector Fox's list.
She's really quite lovely when she's angry.
Sly, we've got to clear our name.
Oh, sorry.
And the Murraynator's got you covered.
This is our biggest job yet, so we really have to work together, but the whole job is blown if we don't have someone at the controls.
So, are you in?
Rated E for everyone.
Okay, fellas, time to pull off the big heist. First, Murray will help me break into the old water tower.
The Murray's ready to go.
Sly, you'll pickpocket the truck keys, then hand them off to me and Murray in the plaza.
Sounds easy enough. What's the catch?
Well, we need someone to coordinate the job for the safe house.
Well, I'm not really sure how to use your computer.
Not you, Murray. Them.
So, you want to play?
Rated E for everyone.
Plans? That's the easy part. We got it all figured out.
Yeah, all figured out. We do?
Well, Bentley does.
Oh.
And with Sly's skills, your muscle, and my superior intellect, we're missing just one thing to pull off the biggest job of our lives yet.
What's that?
We need another player.
So, are you in?
Rated E for everyone.
About the certain jobs and missions in this game, I'll give you my faves from each episode. Episode 1, The Black Chateau. Breaking and entering. This is where Sly Cooper infiltrates Dimitri's nightclub to take reconnaissance photos of the Clockwork tail feathers and what he's planning to use them. Follow Dimitri. After Sly rings the bell and Dimitri came out, Sly follows him while avoiding being detected by guards and Dimitri himself. Disco Demolitions. This is where Bentley infiltrates the disco room and blows up all 4 pillars that support the disco ball. Operation Thunderbeak. This is where the Cooper gang goes to the water tower and turn the valves to redirect the water from the fountain so they can make a giant hole through it to enter the building. But after they go retrieve the truck with the giant hook, Sly needed to obtain the key from the repairman that would be protected by a few guards. Once he obtained the key, he gave it to Bentley and Murray, which they brought the truck to where the fountain is. After being waves of guards, the Cooper gang punctured a huge hole on the fountain. And Printing Press Duel. This is where Sly Cooper fights Dimitri for the tail feathers. Episode 2, A Starry-Eyed Encounter. Recon the Ballroom. This is where Sly Cooper infiltrates Rajan's palace and takes reconnaissance photos under a covered balcony to find clockwork rings and who's inside other than him. Dominate the dance floor. After retrieving a tuxedo, Sly grants access to the ballroom and does a tango with Neela. Battle the Chopper. Murray takes out Rajan's security chopper so they can do aerial operations. Boardroom Brawl. This is where Bentley hacks into the security terminal so you can control the electronic wrench above the ballroom, while Sly and Murray battle waves of guards. Elephant Rampage. This is where Sly obtains 6 gems, 3 from each of the 2 elephants so they can be used to create a salt to remove the wings from the statue. And Operation Hippodrop. This is where Bentley plants multiple bombs onto the support beams that hold the bridge so Rajan's guards in the ballroom would leave their posts. Sly Cooper dances with Carmelita so everyone else can be distracted while Murray obtains the wings from the statue. Once Murray has the wings, Bentley drops bombs on the guards while Murray takes them to the hideout. Episode 3, The Predator Awakes. Spice Room Recon. This is where Sly enters Rajan's Spice Temple to take a few recon photos so they can plan a heist. Spice Grinder Destruction. This is where Sly uses TNT to destroy the Spice Grinder. Blow the Dam. This is where Bentley uses an autopilot helicopter that was stored into a truck to destroy the dam above Rajan's base of operations. Rip off the Ruby. This is where Murray and Bentley ripped off the ruby from the elephant statue for a local crime ring to allow them to exchange for the Cherry Bomb 500. Operation Red Tiger. This is where the Cooper gang floods Rajan's temple and try to retrieve the second half of the Clockwork Heart. And Showdown with Rajan. This is where Murray fights Rajan. Episode 4, Jailbreak. Eavesdrop on Contessa. This is where Bentley gathers intelligence from Contessa about Sly and Murray so Bentley can find a way to get both out of jail. Train hack. This is where Bentley hacks into 6 terminals that make the train go faster to where the train spins out of control and gets launched to the prison to allow Sly to escape from the hole. Big House Brawl. This is where Sly infiltrates a part of the Contessa's prison. It whispered to Murray that Bentley found a weakness in the solitary confinement cell and he needs to kill 50 guards to get into that confinement. The Skies Bridge. This is where Bentley plants bombs on the security systems while Sly eliminates the guards above. Code Capture. This is where Sly takes 4 recon photos of 4 security codes in order to get to the encryption algorithm. And Operation Trojan Tank. This is where Bentley and Sly are ready to get Murray out of Contessa's prison. Episode 5. A Tangled Web. Know Your Enemy. This is where Sly takes recon photos in certain areas of the map. Ghost Capture. This is where Sly takes pictures of 9 ghosts, but Bentley modified it to where it can capture them, and Sly placed them inside Neela's chimney. Mojo Trap Action. This is where Bentley retrieves bad mojo for a device called the Mojo Collector, so he can use it to destroy the Mine Shuffler. Kidnap the General. This is where Murray kidnaps General Clawfoot so Bentley can interrogate him for information, including the security codes to the castle gates. Crypt Hack. This is where Bentley obtains a giant acid battery to power up and hack 3 terminals to power up the re-education tower's old terminal so the Cooper gang can rescue Carmelita. And Operation High Road. This is where the Cooper gang rescues Carmelita, obtain the Clockwork Eyes, and Sly Cooper defeats the Contessa. Episode 6. He Who Tames the Iron Horse. Cabin Crimes. This is where Sly Cooper infiltrates John Bison's cabin to take recon photos on the blueprints of train routes, while overhearing the conversation. Sly then steals 3 blueprints, 1 of each cabin's trophy bass, and heads to the top of a mountain to hack into a satellite so Bentley can access the train's GBS. Spice in the Sky. This is where Sly Cooper gets into the air thanks to Murray using an ice plane, and collects enough spice from the balloons using a special vacuum backpack and using it on all the locks of John Bison's trains. Bear Cub Kidnapping. This is where Murray kidnaps 2 bear cubs and places them inside of the fence and have the mother bear break that fence so the Cooper gang can use this handcar that's inside this fence so they can use it to catch up with Iron Horse number 3. Aerial Assault. This is where Bentley uses his RC chopper to take out the aerial defenses so Sly can infiltrate Iron Horse number 2 and obtain Clockwork's second lung. Theft on the Rails. This is where Sly Cooper obtains the second lung from Iron Horse number 2. And Operation Choo Choo. This is where the Cooper gang gets on Iron Horse number 3 and steals the Clockwork stomach. Episode 7. Menace from the North, eh? Recon Sawmill. This is where Sly Cooper needs to take recon photos around the area they were currently in. At some point after, the Cooper gang became participants of the Canada Games in order to obtain the Clockwork Talons as the reward. RC Combat Club. This is where Murray entered a cabin as a moose and entered an RC combat competition in order to win for the location of the Northern Light Battery. Lighthouse Break-In. This is where the Cooper gang has to overload the Northern Lights collector so the power to the silo battery is out. Old Grizzleface. This is where Murray lures Grizzleface with fish to destroy all local oil mains in order to get the Eagle Egg. Thermal Ride. This is where Sly Cooper gets the Eagle Egg, using his paraglider to cross the drafts that were created by flames originating from the oil main destruction. Boat Hack. This is where Bentley gets on a boat to attach 3 wires to drain the Northern Lights battery. Operation Canada Games. This is where the Cooper gang enters the Canada Games and try to win the Clockwork Talons. And Brains Over Brawn. This is where Bentley fights with John Bison using the traps around him. Episode 8. Autonomy for Disaster. Blimp HQ Recon. This is where Sly Cooper enters Arpeggio's HQ blimp and take recon photos inside of it. Sly Bentley Conspire. This is where Sly and Bentley destroy the engine beta so Clockla wouldn't draw power from the blimp. Murray and Sly Tag Team. This is where Sly and Murray destroys Engine Alpha. Murray and Bentley Team Up. This is where Bentley and Murray destroys Engine Delta. Mega Jump Job. This is where Sly Cooper uses his Mega Jump ability from the Mega Jump pack and activates 4 tall radio towers to radio a signal for Carmelita to find the blimp. Carmelita's Gunner. This is where Sly gets on Carmelita's chopper to use the turret to defeat Clockla. And Showdown with Clockla. This is where Sly saves Bentley and Murray from Clockla and finishes the rest of her with Bentley and Murray. Overall, Sly 2 Band of Thieves is a good installment to the series. It's second to my favorite Sly Cooper games. Years later, we Sly Cooper fans do get Sly 4 Thieves in Time. This time, this game, instead of being developed by Sucker Punch Productions, which they went on to do the infamous series, this game was made by Shanzuru Games, which they made the Sly Cooper collection a few years before. For a different developer that worked on this installment of the series, I'm mostly satisfied with it, but I do have my own problems with this game, more than the two titles that I already covered. To start off, I do like how the plot starts off after the events of Sly 3, and actually went with the idea with Bentley building the time machine after he said he was going to make one at the end of Sly 3. Each episode in this installment has a different time period. One goes to Japan, one goes to the Wild West, one goes to the BC times, one goes to the medieval times, and one more goes to the Arabian times. Just like Sly 3, Sly 4 has a different variety of characters you can choose. You can play Sly Cooper, Bentley, Murray, and Carmelita in this game. In this game, Carmelita is a full playable character rather than a playable character just exclusive to the job/missions. Also in each time period, you can play Sly's ancestors. My most favorite of the ancestors is Tennessee Kid Cooper because he's the only Cooper with a gun cane. The other Cooper ancestors do have cool abilities. The ancestors I don't like that much are Salim El Kupar and Sir Gareth Cooper. Now, don't get me wrong, I freaking love their abilities. They're amazing as hell. It's just that what I don't like about these guys is their personality. Salim is this whiny complainer, and Gareth being the cliche, bombastic, and chivalrous guy. But to me, that's just a nitpick problem. About the characters from the last game, the Guru, Panda King, Dimitri Assault, and Penelope. Guru and the Panda King don't appear in this game, well, except for the Guru, who only appeared in Murray's Pinocchio. Dimitri only appears in the cutscenes, and Penelope... I'll tell you soon. As for the problems I have with this game, most are nitpicky. My first problem is a nitpicky one. In Sly 2 and Sly 3, whenever you fail the job, there's a sound effect that I like so much that it's hilarious to listen to. But the one in Sly 4 is this police car sound effects, which I mean it does fit, but to me, it just feels off. My second problem was the one I already stated last time about Salim and Sir Gareth, and that one is just nitpicking. My third problem with this game is, well, I do think some Sly Cooper fans can agree with me on this one. I hated the fact that Shanzuru chose Penelope to be a traitor of the Cooper gang. To me, it just feels like a slap to the face. I mean, I do get that Penelope was only playable with her vehicle gadgets rather than her physical self, and the only time her physical self was playable is battling with Fee in Sly 3. It's just that I really don't get why they did this decision. Although, to be fair, I'm not for sure if she would be able to play a major role or not if she wasn't a villain. My fourth problem are the minigames. Allow me to be a bit more specific. Ever since Sly 1, there's a minigame with Bentley trying to hack into different computers. This game, along with Sly 2 and Sly 3, have only one minigame, and that is with controlling Bentley's virtual tank thing that can insert into these certain areas that act like keys that will unlock an obstacle that would be blocking the path. This returns in Sly 4 along with a few new ones. That minigame, along with the one with the mini Bentley killing multiple enemies in this path with virtual guns similar to Contra, they are very good. But there's one that really bothers me the most. That would be the one where you had to move an electric ball by just moving your controller without using any of the buttons on the PlayStation 3 controller. I'm sorry, but I just hated when you have to only tilt your PS3 controller in all directions without using any of the buttons. It feels very uncomfortable to me. If you do like this mini game, it's totally fine, and I do respect your opinion on it. The power-ups in this game are different. Granted, a few of them like Silent Liberation and Paraglider do return, but many of them are different. Also, instead of having a menu where all your power-ups are shown, the menu in this game shows different type of power-ups. For Sly, it's just the costumes you obtain from each episode. For Bentley, it's the type of ammunition for his darts and bombs. For Murray, it's where he gets a different power for his fists, like dynamite fists and electric fists. And for Carmelita, it's different settings for a shot pistol like auto fire and triple shot. I want to mention that I did see that Sly 4 had a different look to it, and the characters are redesigned. Some fans might not like it, but for me, I do like it. I got used to the new designs after some time, especially I do like the way they made Carmelita a bit mature from before, this time wearing a skirt rather than her pants from the original trilogy. I'll admit, I really don't like how the game was ended in a cliffhanger, where Sly ends up in ancient Egypt after the defeat of the Paradox. It feels off to me because you do know how much there are films and games out there that had cliffhangers and never got a continuation, or they were, but they got cancelled after some time. Back then, before the game was released, I have saw the teaser trailer to this, and I'll admit, it was a good teaser. In fact, here's the teaser trailer to Sly 4.
I'm not your cheesy macaroni, Sly Cooper. You good? Dimitri!
Bentley, this is the last time we ever leave Dimitri in charge of the hideout.
It was also the first time.
As for my favorite jobs/missions for this game, here's my third list of favorites from each episode. Episode 1, Turning Japanese. Photo Op. This is where Sly Cooper takes recon photos throughout the area in ancient Japan. Breakout. This is where Sly Cooper frees his ancestor Ryuichi from his prison. Pretty in Pinker. This is where Ryuichi steals the outfit of Matum Geisha to find out what El Jefe wants to speak to her about. Tiger Tail. This is where Bentley used his RC card to find out what El Jefe is up to. And Altitude Sickness. This is where the Cooper gang is ready to take down El Jefe. Episode 2. Go West Young Raccoon. Under Arrest. This is where Sly Cooper committed multiple crimes to the town in order to put himself in the same jail cell as Tennessee Kid Cooper. Jailhouse Blues. This is where Sly Cooper and Tennessee Kid Cooper figure out a plan to escape the jail. Cooper for Hire. This is where the Cooper gang helps Tennessee Kid Cooper get his gun cane located in Toothpick's vault. Saloon Bug. This is where Sly and Bentley sneaks into Toothpick's saloon to find out what he plans to do. Blind Date. This is where Tennessee saves Carmelita, but they both go save the Cooper gang from Toothpick. Jailbreak. This is where Tennessee and Carmelita navigate through a dangerous river to the Pasito to rescue the Cooper gang. Grand Key Lornsey. This is where Murray, Sly, and Carmelita go through a series of challenges so they can win the 3 keys. And Operation Gold Digger. This is where the Cooper gang splits into 3 groups, does their objectives, and ultimately fight Toothpick on the train. Episode 3. Clan of the Cave Raccoon. Stone Age Renaissance. This is where Sly Cooper goes out and takes recon photos around the Stone Age area. Unexpected Ties. This is where Sly Cooper needs to find out what the Grizz is up to with his operations in the prehistoric era. Getting Stronger. This is where the Cooper gang trains Bob Cooper to get back into shape after losing his cane to the Grizz. Ice Bentley. This is where Bentley infiltrates local caverns to inject 3 darts to the Grizz so they can know the codes to get into his base. Duty Calls. This is where Sly Cooper spies on the Grizz all over the valley to try to retrieve the codes to get inside of the mountain base. And Operation Jurassic Thievery. This is where the Cooper gang infiltrates the mountain base and stops the Grizz from his art con. Episode 4 of Mice and Mechs. Shopping Spree. This is where Sly finds the materials for Bentley to create the Archer costume. Eye in the Sky. This is where Sir Gareth Cooper disables all the surveillance balloons all over the village. Mechanical Menace. This is where Sir Galeth Cooper enters the cave where the Moat Monster is, and after that, Carmelita saves Sir Galeth from the Moat Monster. Short Supplies. This is where Sly, Murray, and Sir Galeth revisit the local shops to shut down the converted operations. Hard Target. This is where Sly and Sir Galeth Cooper collects fireballs and Merlin's magic powder to create an explosive to break through the castle walls. And Operation Mousetrap. This is where the Cooper gang, Sir Galeth, and Carmelita infiltrate the castle and defeat Penelope. Episode 5, 40 Thieves. Lost and Found. This is where Sly Cooper tries to find where Salim El Kupar is in the area where Miss Decibel conquered. Open Sesame. This is where Sly Cooper gets the thief costume, used it to follow Cyril and Decibel, and used his fake Italian accent and costume simultaneously to get the delivery locations of Salim's thief allies. Heavy Metal Meltdown. This is where Bentley and Salim enters Decibel's office and planted all transmitter bugs to overhear Decibel and Le Paradox's conversation. And All Rolled Up. This is where the Cooper gang is ready to take down Miss Decibel. Deja vu all over again in episode 6. This is where the Cooper gang gets back in the present, the ancestors one by one get their kings back, and Sly Cooper at the end fights Sarah Le Paradox. Overall, Thieves in Time is a good installment to the Sly Cooper series, despite my problems with it, and I do like to get back and playing this game whenever I can. Now on to the first Sly Cooper game. To be honest, I had never finished it yet, but I had started to play it, and I'm stuck at the first level. Although what I can tell is that the gameplay is different from its sequels, although some of the game's elements remind me of Crash Bandicoot. With all the boss fights I've seen on YouTube, I think Clockworks is the most epic. My least favorite would be Ms. Ruby's because it looks too absurd for me to dodge all the buttons that you see on the right of a PS controller. Overall, I still have yet to beat this game, and so far as I know, for the first game, it's really good. And for the final subject, the movie. As of the making of this video, the movie hasn't been released yet. The only thing related to this movie that has been released is a concept teaser trailer. Initially, the movie was meant to be released 2016 last year, but due to the failure of Ratchet & Clank, the movie had to be delayed. And they want the Sly Cooper movie to be better. For my thoughts about the trailer, it was pretty good. The designs of the characters are alright. I don't mind Murray's clothes that much, and Sly Cooper's design looks close to his original. However, I don't like the way they show Bentley's eyes. To me, I like how his glasses were so opaque that you can't see his eyes, and that's something I'm used to. I don't know why, but every time I do see Bentley's eyes from his transparent glasses, I feel like I'm looking at a Bay Turtle reject, and it doesn't feel right. Although, I'm glad they had the original voices in there. Well, except for Kevin Miller, who voices Sly, but Kevin Monroe did sound similar to Kevin Miller. They never revealed what Carmelita and Clockwork are going to look like in the movie. Since that trailer was a teaser and nothing else, they might update the designs a bit. The plot for this film is going to be a reimagining of the first game, and I really do hope this film succeeds critically and financially. So, that concludes my retrospective on the Sly Cooper franchise. Nowadays, I'm always waiting for a new game to be released. Hell, I would love to see if they were to make the 5th Sly game and the game based on the Sly Cooper movie. This did happen with the Ratchet & Clank film, so I would love to see if they can do it with Sly Cooper. Whenever the Sly Cooper movie is released, I will be doing a review of it along with the game if they decide to do it. So that's it for this retrospective, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace!